Hello, everyone. This is Jeremy. You probably know me from Fun Facts with Jeremy. So this time we're going to try a little something different. This time we're going to do a little something called geography lessons. So we're going to learn about the United States of America, which is over here on this map, and on this globe, it would be right over here. And along the way, I'm going to show you this map here, and I'm going to talk about the states, and I'm going to talk about the locations, the geographical features, and I'm going to talk about who are the people who live here in this country that we know as the United States of America. So let's get started, shall we? So first of all, where is the United States of America? If you look on the map, it's right over here in this continent called North America. And North America, for a long time, has been inhabited by different kinds of people groups. And if you look at the history of the United States, it is basically a continent it is a country within this continent that has been inhabited by Europeans across the Atlantic Ocean. So a little brief history is that long ago, this was widely inhabited by other nation groups that we know as Native Americans. But as soon as Europeans started coming over, because they had no knowledge of this landmass, they ended up settling in places that we now know as Boston, Jacksonville, Norfolk, and if we go further south, Miami, Tampa, and then we have the Caribbean islands down here. And when the Europeans began to settle, word spread quickly as to the new land that they called the New World. It was called the New World because they had no such knowledge of such world that exists here on this map. For a long time, many people thought all of this was just empty, vast oceans. Of course, now we know that's not the case. Now, you're probably wondering, how did we get the name America? Well, it was actually named after a certain man by the name of Amerigo Vespucci, who discovered this landmass, and he even theorized it years before Christopher Columbus. And so now, a little bit of brief history as to the founding of the United States. The United States was founded in the year 1776. It was declaring independence from the British because during that time, much of the eastern part of North America was actually being inhabited by the British, and it was actually inhabited by other European groups, but mostly it was the English, the Scots, the Welsh, and even some Irish folk were living there too. And because they had this territory over here, they realized that they were going to be seeking independence pretty soon because there was plenty of taxation and they didn't have much representation. As the old saying goes, there is no taxation without representation. You probably heard this at school. You probably heard this on the History Channel. You've heard this somewhere, but that's where it all comes from, here in the Eastern Coast. And so the Americans, the Continentals as they were sometimes called, they fought a war for independence, and when they did, they became an independent nation state that ended up encompassing these 13 colonies. They were called the 13 colonies because they were 13 settlements from New England up here all the way down to Florida. Okay? And so from there, the country began to expand from the east all the way westward, all the way to the states that we now know as Washington State, Oregon, California, Alaska, and I know you can't see this on the map right here, but Hawaii. So if we look at the globe here, Hawaii is these little islands right over here. For a long time, they were known as the Sandwich Islands, but that ended up changing when they realized that that's not really the proper name for these Hawaiian islands, and they ended up calling it Hawaii, which in the Polynesian term means homeland. It comes from the original word Hawaii. So if you ever go to Hawaii, that's where you learn the word. So after the United States was founded, now to the big question. How did these states get their names? Well, funny thing about states getting their names. Well, kind of the thing is each state has their own history, but they were usually named after one of four things. Number one, individual people.
Number 2, groups of people. Number 3, a physical geography, or there's the 4th option, which is barely used, which is the geography's special features, as they would call it, special features. They were referring to mostly metaphors and figurative speech. So let's name a few examples. So New York, for example, is named after one particular person. It was named after a duke back in Britain, known as the Duke of York. And that's just an example of one person. Now let's talk about a state named after a group of people. For example, if you look here, it should be somewhere around here. This would be the state of Utah. The state of Utah got its name from the Ute Native Americans who lived here around the Salt Lake, and where the city gets its name, Salt Lake City. And you have these other places that are named after a specific feature within the geography. Like, for example, Florida comes from the original Spanish word Floridia, which means flowerland. Of course, it could also just mean flower as well. But either way, they were referring to the flowers that were growing here, and people thought, this is the land of flowers. And then there's a special feature that could be found, of course, in places like California and Texas. But we're going to focus on California at the moment, because California has had many theories as to where the name comes from. That one is a bit of a mystery, but here are the prevailing theories: that it probably was named by the Spanish, but either way, they thought it was an entire island, so they thought naming it California would be fitting because California is a land of mystery, one of the many proposed theories. But even though this is not a state, here's a little bit of a fun fact. If you look here is the city of Milwaukee in Wisconsin. That also comes from Native Americans. And Milwaukee comes from the Native American word Milewake, which means the good place. You probably heard that in a movie somewhere, and I would be surprised if you know what it is. But to those of you who probably don't know, I'm talking about Wayne's World. And finally, we have the capital of Washington, D.C., right here in the state of Maryland. Now, Washington, D.C., to those of you who probably don't remember from school, Washington, D.C. was named after George Washington, yes, but D.C., as you probably might have learned in school, it also comes from District of Columbia. The district being, well, its own district, and Columbia being one of the many names for Christopher Columbus, or of course, as people would have romanticized back in Italy, which would have been right about here, it would have been named after a certain goddess of liberty. Get it? Because this is the land of the free, liberty. So there's that little bit of fun facts for you. And so who are the American people, you're probably wondering, or maybe not, who knows. But to those of you who are probably wondering, what does make an American? Well, Americans live obviously here in the United States of America, but they come from all over the world. So look anywhere on the map, and you will find that many people groups have lived here, and they still live here to this very day. And people who have lived here, decades, even centuries before, they still have descendants here. Take, for example, myself. I am a descendant of Latin Americans from down here, Central America. And my parents come from separate countries, and they came here to the United States. And this is proof that different kinds of people live here. And this country is a melting pot of cultures. So you learn something new every day from people who live here from other countries as well. Speaking of other people, so what does it mean to live in certain states? Well, certain states have their own geographies, but one thing you're going to find is that many people who live in the United States are usually descendants of Europeans. Of course, Europe being from this large area over here. So you go from this end, which is over here in the west, you go from Ireland, Portugal, and Spain, and you go all the way to Russia, this giant landmass. And let me show you a better picture, actually. So if you look here, here's Ireland, here's France, Spain, Portugal, and you go all the way here to this end. All of that orange that is highlighted, that's Russia. It is the biggest country in the world, and we're not one of the top 5. We're actually one of the top 4. So with that in mind, so let's talk about some fun features about the United States of America as far as its states, its cities, and other locations within its districts. So take, for example, this area right here is called New England. You're probably wondering where it comes from. Well, it's because some of the earliest settlers here were English, hence the name New England. So if you were from this area of the United Kingdom, which is the South, and again, let me give you a better demonstration. If you look down here, the British Isles, here's Great Britain. Go further south across the Scottish border, you have England right here, and you have Wales to the west. And that's why this place is called New England. But what states make up New England, you're probably wondering? Well, it's actually 6 states. So let's pull up the globe again, even though it's a bit tiny. So you have the states of Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Boston, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. So those are your states that make up New England. Of course, when New England was founded, it was no longer New England as an official territory because by that time, a few years later, we had the United States of America. Pretty fun stuff, right? And so you have these other states that would make up these little, what are called time zones. You're probably familiar with them because time zones are everywhere. And because we study time zones and because we're well aware that people live in different areas of the country, you're probably well aware that time zones are very important because it could be 2 o'clock over here, but who knows? 2 o'clock p.m. could be 2 o'clock a.m. somewhere else. So if we look here to the west, this is the West Coast. Obviously because it's in the west, and there's the coastline right here that goes from California, Oregon, Washington, Canada, which is not part of the United States, by the way, and then you also have Alaska, and you have Hawaii, which is unfortunately cut off over here. So that's the West Coast. And then you have the Central Coast, which is over here. Then you have the Mountain Coast, which is over here. And then you have the East Coast, which is over here. And these are very important because if you're going to be communicating with anybody, or if you're going to learn about any specific region, and if you're just going to be generalizing based on where people live, well, there you have it. It's called the Central Coast because it's in the central. It's called the Mountain Coast because there are the Great Mountains over here. And it's called the East Coast because here are the eastern coasts. So there's your generalized timelines and time areas, of course. And now we are going to talk about, finally, one of my favorite parts of geography, learning about where we are today. So the United States is currently just this landmass over here, this landmass over here, and then you also have these different territories that are within the Caribbean. You can't see it on this map, and I'm pretty sure it'll be harder to see on this globe right here, but Puerto Rico is right somewhere in the middle. And the reason why I bring this up is because people often forget that we have territories. They are not states. I repeat, they are not states. How do we know this? Because number one, states, they can vote, but territories, well, citizens can't. They can only observe, which, take it however you want, can either be a good thing or a bad thing. So that's up for your interpretation. But whatever it is, you have Puerto Rico over here, which used to be a Spanish territory, but we ended up gaining it sometime after the 1800s. Fun fact about Puerto Rico, its name is Spanish for the Port of Riches, or the rich port. Why? Because if you look at Puerto Rico, where it's situated, it's surrounded by islands that are fertile and farmlands. And when you have farmlands, you have cash crops like sugar, cotton, citrus, and, of course, pineapples, which just happens to be one of my favorite fruits. And so there's Puerto Rico over there, and then you have somewhere right over here due eastward of Puerto Rico, you have the U.S. Virgin Islands, which was a part of Denmark at one point, but we bought her. And in case you're wondering where Denmark is, well, you can't see it over here because some of the letters are covered up. But let's go back to the globe, our best friend here. And there's Denmark, just right above Germany and just right below Sweden and Norway. They are what are called Nordic countries, meaning they're from north of Europe. And of course, you have far off, well, off the map, you also have these other territories. Again, let's go back to the globe. You have these other territories within a certain area called Polynesia. Polynesia means many islands in Latin. So you have these many islands somewhere around here, if I can find it. Found it. Okay, so right around here are what are called the Marshall Islands. And the Marshall Islands were actually territories of the United States back in the 1800s. And today they still function as territories for our military bases. So if you ever have family or friends who have been serving in our country here in the West Coast, which is where this is being filmed right now, that means they're likely going to be in these islands right here, and as well as the Federation of Micronesia, and then you also have Palau, also U.S. islands. You also have Wake Island over here. Many of these islands are important to us because that's where a lot of our naval bases are located. So our men and women who are serving in the U.S. Navy, let alone the U.S. military, chances are they're going to be here somewhere because that's where we have our military bases. Very important for you to know, especially if you have people serving our country. And now you're probably wondering, okay, this is the United States and so is that. So why is Canada not part of the United States? That's a bit of a long story, but long story short of things is that, well, Canada, like the United States, before in the colonial era, used to be part of Britain. Yeah, the British had settled over here in the northeastern part of what we now know as Nova Scotia. You also have Newfoundland, Halifax, St. John, all these areas, and Quebec, and the capital of Canada, Ottawa. But let's just say where there were people here trying to gain independence from the British, these guys did not gain their independence until much, much later. But again, that's a whole other story for another time because let's be honest, the history is very, very long and it's also pretty complicated. So you have these little borders right over here that go on a straight line and they go across the Great Lakes because they're the biggest lakes in the world. And you also have these little borders up here where New England used to be, which is also for the proof that this place used to be called New England. Yep. So the next time you ever go into these areas, just remember that once upon a time, these were areas once part of a whole different country from a whole different continent across the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. And speaking of Atlantic Ocean, the word Atlantic Ocean is an ancient word that comes from Atlas. It's also the same word we get for describing a map, or at least a specific map. And when you go across the waters, you'll have the British over here, you have the Irish over here, Portuguese, Spanish, and French, all of whom at least at one point settled in North America. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. These are the fun little facts and fun little information and knowledge about our own little geography of the United States of America. I've been your host, Jeremy, and I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you.
Welcome back to Elwyn live stream. So, as we all know, come April 22nd, we are going to have Earth Day. And what we're going to do right now, Vanessa and I are going to play a game. And we're going to look at the different things as far as Earth Day. We're going to see if aluminum, plastic, paper and cardboard, or compost. When we pick up an item, which item will that specific thing go into? Remember, during Earth Day, we have to be safe about everything. We want to not just do Earth Day on the 22nd. We want to keep our Earth safe and clean so that there's many, many more generations to come, many, many more things to go on. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull this off, grab my shield, and we're going to play that game.
So we're gonna match which items. We have a few pictures here to show you guys where these items belong. If they either belong on the aluminum trash bucket or the plastic, the paper and cardboard, or the compost. Okay,
Okay?
so let me start.
Okay.
Okay, so the very first one I got is plastic. A bottle is considered a plastic. So let's see, which one would I place this picture in? So it is not aluminum. That's what I do know. Let's see, that is plastic. Paper and cardboard and compost. So I believe because this is plastic, it belongs in this blue barrel.
Very good. Okay, the next thing we have is a cereal box. So where do you think that I would put that cereal box? It definitely isn't aluminum. It is not plastic. Paper and cardboard, possibly? I think so. So that's where I would recycle my cereal boxes.
Okay. Now I got a peel banana, leftover apple, and then orange. So where would this picture go? I don't think it's aluminum, nor plastic. Paper and cardboard? No, I don't see no paper or cardboard. So I want to say it's compost. Compost are
Very
pieces
good, Vanessa.
that are like the banana peel, the apple, leftover apple, any type of food that is just, instead of just throwing it to the trash, you could compost it. Okay.
Okay. The next thing that I have is a plastic recycle bag. Now remember, nowadays here in California, we save our plastic bags because that is what California is asking us to do, to bring them in and recycle and reuse. So the fact that it is a recycled plastic bag, I am going to put this right here under the plastic bottle.
Especially if you don't want to spend 10 cents every single time.
you go.
Yes, others are 15 cents. There's other stores that they even charge you 20 cents. So it's better if you recycle them, or even at the stores, they also have, like, I've seen them like at Target, I want to say. They have this big reusable bags that you could, instead of just throwing them away, sorry, you could definitely go and recycle them there.
Oh, where you put the bags back into
Yes.
the, yes.
Yes.
I know what
It's
you're
normally it's
saying.
always
It's a bin.
Yeah.
You can stick your plastic bags in there.
Exactly. Yeah, it's by
Yes.
the entrance.
Yes.
Around it. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So now let's see. Eggshell.
Hmm.
Eggshell. It is not aluminum nor plastic. Doesn't look like paper or cardboard. So I say it's compost.
There you go.
And it actually, I don't know if you have heard, Carmen, but it's really good for your plants too. So
Yes.
you could just compost and throw them on your plants, and it helps them grow.
Oh, wow,
So-
that would be pretty cool.
Yes.
That will help with our garden here at Elwyn.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and maybe later on, we'll see. We'll do a class in gardening. Okay. Just let us know what would you guys like us to either plant. It could be flowers. Could
Flowers.
be any vegetables, a fruit. Something easy, please. Because we want to see how it works. So
We
let
have
us know.
half a green thumb.
Yes. All right.
And of
we'll
all
check it out.
things for me to get, a cookie.
If you guys
For
don't
the
know,
Cookie Monster.
yes.
Yes. So, again, I definitely know cookies don't taste like aluminum.
Oh no.
Sometimes they do come in plastic wrap, but this is just the cookie.
Only the cookie.
Only
yes.
the cookie.
Yes.
And sometimes they do come where you reach down in the box and get them out of the box.
Exactly.
So, but this is just the cookie for the Cookie Monster. So basically, I'm going to sacrifice this cookie and put it in the compost.
Just any leftovers
Just
that you
any
know.
leftovers.
Yes. Put it underneath.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So on the compost, as you guys can see, we have so far the banana peel, apple leftovers, an orange peel, the egg shell, sorry, and the leftover cookies that we did not finish eating.
My goodness.
Yes. Okay. And let's see, I got the pizza boxes. Pizza boxes, because it's a box, we could also recycle this, you guys. Instead of just throwing it to the regular trash can, there's different types of trash cans that we could recycle each, if it's either a compost, a leftover food, a box, glass, bottles, aluminum. So this is a box, and I would say that it goes on the paper and cardboard on the orange.
Before you put that up there, what's your favorite pizza?
Oh my goodness. Any type of pizza. Any type of pizza. I love pizza. I will go beyond maybe even every single day eating pizza.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Maybe I want to say the one with the cheese crust.
Yummy.
The stuffed ones.
The stuffed crust?
Yes.
Nice.
And maybe even Pizza Hut. I don't know. I would try any. That's how much
She
I love
is a pizza girl.
Yes. All right.
So that pizza
So-
box is gonna go in the paper and cardboard.
From the orange
Finally, look what I found.
with the chip on.
I found an aluminum pan.
Mm.
So now we have things that we have put in our compost. We have things in our paper and cardboard. We have things in our plastic container. And now we will put something in our aluminum container. And believe it or not, a lot of these are recyclable. There's lots of things, cans, different things that you can put in there and take to the recycling center to help keep the earth clean instead of just throwing them away where they're sitting in landfills, not, decomposing or going away. So we have an aluminum pan.
And the good thing about recycling, you get something back too. You get some money.
Yes. To buy some pizza.
Hey, to buy pizza or cookies
Yes.
or anything that you would like to enjoy that day. Okay, so now I have this picture, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's plastic, like what's it called, like a gallon of milk, If you just enjoyed a
Juice.
soda or a juice, anything that has to do with plastic bottles could be recyclable. So let's see, plastic bottles, of course, it's not aluminum. And it does go on the blue bin, which is plastic. That goes right there.
Okay,
I don't think you see it, but
so the next thing I have is a tuna can. So I like my tuna basically with like mayonnaise and relish in it or something. I've had a friend make it and put apples in it.
oh, never
Or
tried
I've
it that way.
had her do it, I've had one friend that did it and she put it on lettuce and just put the tomato and then the tuna on top. So I kind of like it that way. I really like it when it's on bread.
Like a
So,
sandwich.
like a
I haven't had that
sandwich.
one. Even
I
with
love it like
crackers. Like the
Yes,
Ritz
with
crackers.
crackers.
You could have
That's
that tuna.
also
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
So, my tuna can,
It doesn't look like plastic, so
It
I don't think
doesn't.
it goes on the plastic.
would I put that in compost?
It's not any leftovers, so I don't
Gotcha.
know.
So this would basically go into my aluminum recycle bin.
Okay. Now I got a cup of soda or smoothie. Sometimes we just toss it to the trash. So there is a place for paper cups. So it doesn't go on the aluminum nor the plastic because this ain't plastic. It's more like cardboard or paper. So I would have to say on the paper and cardboard. This will go here.
Okay. So our next item is, boy, are we just only eating half of food today? Is an apple. So again, our apple will help our plants and things grow. So I think I'm going to put this in the compost with my cookie.
Okay. All right. I know all of you guys might like to enjoy a Coke or any type of soda. And this looks like it's a Coke on a can. So this is aluminum. And this goes on the that side, please.
Down here with our tuna cans and stuff.
Yes.
And last but not least, we have our milk carton. So our milk carton can come in different varieties. It can come in plastic, or it could come in like the cardboard, like paper thing. So this one actually came in the cardboard cut type of container for the milk. So I'm gonna put it in this one, but you can get the big gallon ones that would eventually end up in this one as far as plastic.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, guys, so it is very important to recycle. If you guys could even recycle with your family, your friends, or even yourselves, if you guys are in your homes, just make sure to keep our planet safe and simply recycle.
Yes, make sure you, like we said, Earth Day is coming April 22nd. You know, it's not just one day a year that we want to keep our earth safe and clean. We want to pick up, we want to recycle like we do here at Elwyn. We want to make sure that we keep the earth clean for us to be here for a very long time. So with that being said, we're going to take a small break and we'll be right back with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, they can hear us, so we're getting ready. Maybe I should be over here. All right, I got wheels on my chair. Linda, let's test you out. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Okay, we're gonna have to get some extra volume. Hang on. Let's see, is there a little extra volume going on?
I don't know, is there?
Let's see.
I can hear you fine.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Hello, testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have you on our big screen up here, and I think you're seeing me from here. Maybe if I can have you guys move the camera, so, because it looks real low. You don't need to see me so much. Let's see, Linda. Fantastic. So I am not the important one. Linda Hess is the important one. Good morning, and thank you for taking the time to visit with us. Yay. All right. Good morning. So I know you've been busy, and I also know that if you guys realize I have a empty space here, and I do not have a mask on or a shield because I don't have my guest star speaker with me. They're up there on the screen. So Linda, where are you today? What location?
I am working from home.
Fantastic. So
Stay safe.
fantastic. Well, we love to hear that. So, Linda, I'm going to start right off to get to know Elwyn Linda. Ready?
Sure.
All right. Thank you. Linda, how long have you been a dedicated employee here at Elwyn?
I have been with Ellen since 1986, which is 34 and a half years.
My goodness. That is fantastic. Okay, that is some dedication. So I know a lot of our clients know you well from lots of different levels here at Elwyn. Tell us right off the bat what's your title here now, and then we'll work from there.
Okay. So I am program manager, supported employment, individual placement.
There's a mouthful. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty important, and I know the clients that work with you are very grateful. Where did you start? 34 years and a half. In what position, if I may ask?
I was a floor supervisor.
Fantastic.
So right out there in the ADS program, only we didn't call it that back then.
Okay.
And working right there with, we had huge groups of 27 to 30 clients,
No kidding.
one supervisor.
No kidding.
We worked our little tails off.
Yeah. We think we have it so rough. Fantastic. Okay, so being those 34 and a half years, what would be your favorite production? If you remember, there's about a dozen productions that we have now. Luis keeps us extremely busy, and we're grateful for that. He's our production manager here in the warehouse. But do you recall, out of all of them, my favorite is the sneaker erasers. I really like a clean tennis shoe. What's yours out of the hundreds of years?
I had the most fun when we had the Army bandage contract.
All right, now you're going to have to elaborate, because I'm thinking veterans, I'm thinking awesomeness, Army bandage.
So clients who've been here a long time will remember that we used to fold or roll army bandages. We
Oh,
had to roll them, rubber band them, press them on a steam press. We had to insert 2 large safety pins into the folds, and then we had to put them in plastic bags where they were then vacuum sealed.
that's fantastic.
And
I think
they shipped out to go to like basic training and what have you. They were made for first aid training for the soldiers.
I was just gonna elaborate on that. I'm thinking it's not only gratifying, but satisfying to all the same. So, okay.
We had a few clients who could roll over 500 bandages a day.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. Well, that right off the bat makes me smile. But what about you? Here at Elwyn, what makes you smile? Look at that smile, guys. Check that out.
My favorite thing to do is talk to the clients.
Okay. Virtually, by
See how
phone.
their days are going.
Yeah, just keeping in touch. It's really funny. You can actually hear their smiles, even if it's just through their phone, because they can't. What I'm noticing, the enunciation, because when they're smiling so large, the words don't sound so clear because they're so happy to see you. So I find that awesome, and that does bring back some pleasantness, and I like that. So definitely turns your frown upside down.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So here at Elwyn, I appreciate you as a manager, as all your dedication through the years. You guys take good care of me, keeping me safe, checking in on me. I like that you guys put out updates and flyers and post things by the clock and keep us in the loop. And I appreciate that regarding improvements for Elwyn. What can Elwyn do for you while even being in distance, being at home? Anything that we can do to improve?
You know, the great thing is I've got my laptop, I've got my phone, so I'm still connected with everything that's going on. But I think, especially during this time, with the budgets as they are and the guidelines that we have to follow, Elwyn is doing the best they can.
I would have to agree, because
And
we
I
are
think
reaching.
The bottom line is we just need to all get back to work.
For sure, yeah. And I have to agree with you, because we are reaching so many clients with the, again, speaking of the budget, but we are reaching clients with the Chromebooks that were given to us. I know that your department is benefiting. I know our department, ADS is. So, you know, we are connecting. So I love that. We're doing the best we can. All right. So now we got to know a little bit about Linda Elwyn, and thank you for that. Can we get to know Linda at home? A little more personal. Here we go. Linda, Miss Linda Hess, where were you born? Where did it all begin?
Well, I'm one of those few native Californians around,
Nice.
and I was born in Santa Monica.
Santa Monica. There's many a songs named after that city. Okay, so tell me something special besides the songs, I just gave it away, about your birthplace, Santa Monica.
I can tell you a real couple of interesting facts.
Okay.
I didn't live there long enough to realize what was going on in that town.
Okay.
We moved a lot when I was young. But I did find out from doing some research that the Santa Monica Pier and the carousel and things have been used in a lot of really interesting things, like 44 movies have that pier and carousel in it.
Yep.
46 television shows
Wow.
featured that. And I don't know if you remember the old Three's Company show.
Oh my gosh. Wasn't that the start off of it? Dun-dun-dun. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Opening of it.
Yep.
Them walking on that pier.
Yep.
And then 24 music videos have been shot there.
Hence my word, lots of music. I'm a music girl, I like that. Well, fantastic. And not to say that the surf isn't fantastic, by the way, their offshore waves are. All right, so with that being said, all right, so now we know where it all started. Where do you reside now, if you may, the city that you're in?
I'm still in a well-known city. I'm in Buena Park, home of Knott's Berry Farm.
Oh, okay. Wow, you just travel all the fancy cities. What is it called when you come to travel to California? Those are all the pin marks that every visitor wants to hit. That's awesome. Yes. Okay.
I'm hot.
You are the hot spots. Okay. Well, wonderful. Okay. So when you come into Elwyn and visit us or you're getting back to work and things are normal, do you take the bus? Do you ride your bike? Do you walk? Do you drive your car safely to get here at Elwyn? How do you get here, Linda?
Well, being 16 miles away, I drive.
Okay. All right. And we're just going to move on from getting to driving here. We all take our breaks, and my favorite topic at lunch hour, food. Do you have a favorite food, or do they all just work well?
I don't turn down too many things, but I do have two favorites.
Oh, two. Okay.
I like Asian,
Oh, okay.
pretty much all Asian.
Do you eat with a chopstick or fork?
I do chopstick.
Ah, I like it. Okay. So Asian, what else?
Seafood.
No kidding.
I like seafood.
Where did you get this unique palate?
I have no idea.
I'm a steak and potato girl, and I like a fork and knife. Where did you get this? That's so awesome.
I think from my dad. He was he was in the Korean conflict
Oh, well, okay.
and spent a lot of time in Japan and Korea. So
Wonderful. So you're okay with a little bit of spice and a kick and the herbs and the flavors?
yeah, not really. So see, you have to kind of make it on the milder side. Like Thai food, I have to be very careful what I pick out.
Okay.
You know, Korean also, I've got to be very careful what I pick out, but I do like the Asian flavors.
I do love the presentation. The platters that come out, the family style, the way they sit, the music. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Never mind the clothing and the jewelry. Yum.
Oh gosh.
Love it. Okay. All right. How about this? Second language. Any way to communicate with our clients?
A little bit of sign language. I did take 3 semesters of sign language in school.
Okay.
And even less Spanish.
Okay.
I understand more Spanish than I can speak.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. I like it.
Be careful, you guys.
Who all out there's listening. She understands. She's listening. All right. She may not be able to tell it back, but she's listening. All right. So you had a long, busy day, whether working from home or working here. When you're done, hidden talents that you'd like to share, hobbies. Just dazzle us. Tell us something that we don't know that we should probably learn about you.
Okay, I like a lot of crafty things.
Okay.
But my favorite are all the needle and thread, needle and yarn, things like this. So I crochet, I needlepoint, I cross stitch, I can crewel.
Okay, wait, go back.
Candle wicking.
What's a crewel?
Crewel work, it's very much like embroidery.
Oh, because I was thinking you're being mean.
No, it's spelled differently.
Just saying, 2 words. Just learning. Learn every day. Okay, so you definitely have hit up Hobby Lobby once or twice.
Yeah, Joann's is a good
Joann's is good.
I used to sew a lot too. I made all my kids' clothes when they were in elementary school.
Oh, I'm sure they love that. That's awesome. Yeah. Very cool.
Once they get junior high and high school, you know, the kids want name brands, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm being sarcastic right now because my auntie would have to sew off the Jordache badge and put it on hers because what she made me didn't have that. And I wanted a blend. So, you know that's a true fact. So, well, that's awesome. I would not have known that about. You mean you're not exhausted typing all those wonderful job placements all day and then go into that?
No.
Hands down, huge. Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So now we know that about Miss Linda. All right, here we go. Goals. We have a lot of time during this pandemic. A lot of time to improve ourselves, a time to watch self-help videos or shows, just something to improve. What about goals? Something that you'd like to learn or take more time to do?
You know, it seems like every year we set goals for ourselves, you know, Happy New Year, another resolution.
And we're in April now.
And, yeah, and it doesn't always pan out the way you want, but I always say to myself, I'm gonna be healthier this year. I'm gonna eat right. I'm gonna get more exercise.
Right,
Sure wish I could actually do that.
right.
But yeah, I think that's always my goal. I'm mindful of what I'm doing and what I'm eating and things like this. And I know when I make a mistake,
Yeah,
but goal is trying not to make those mistakes.
right. Again, or as many.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just picked that I won't eat as much asparagus because I don't like it.
I don't like it either, so I'm
See?
with you on that.
That's a win. All
That
right.
and Brussels sprouts.
I just learned to like those.
Oh, did you?
I did.
What do you smother them in?
Butter and garlic. Yep. All right. Anyone that you look up to, anyone that, a hero, someone that just reaches you, that makes you feel that you need to be a better you, or that just gives you good guidance.
You know, I had an opportunity to think about that for a little while.
Did you want me to skip it?
I thought if I really pick out my heroes, I'd probably end up crying. So I don't want to do that. So really, I think my answer to that is I don't really have a hero. I have people I admire very much.
Yeah,
And usually that's anybody who has struggled and come out okay, landing on their feet on the other side.
yes. Yeah, I like that. That's gotten through a hard time. You know, that's worked through and
Really
Yeah.
made it. They're still strong. They're still standing.
mhm.
They're still
What I get out of
and doing what they need to do.
Yeah, what I get out of that is they asked for help and they got it and they figured out. I like that.
And don't give up.
Yeah, and don't give
I
up.
like
You heard that?
but don't give up.
Yeah, Linda said, don't give up. Yeah, I like that. All right. So that's a very good message. I like that. My very last one, Linda, look at that one. I hope you wrote it down. We like to send everyone off with a positive, awesome something, a message, a joke, a rhyme, a riddle. Linda, I know you got one in you. Tell us.
I don't. I'm not a real joke person because I always start laughing too hard before I can get the punchline out.
A good delivery, a bad end.
So really, I just want an inspirational type thing, you know, would be never give up, keep going. This pandemic will end. We just have to believe it.
Aw.
You know, life goes on.
Believe and achieve. Believe and achieve. Linda, thank you so much. I know you're going from one meeting to another. You must think we all live in your computer. You know?
You're in a box.
Yeah, this is what she sees probably 8 hours a day. But you know what, you guys, if you have any comments, concerns, or questions, reach out to Linda. She is absolutely accessible always. I find you're very approachable. I hope that was okay to say. I do. I you know, during business hours. No, but no, seriously, thank you for being. Yeah, email always. That's at any time during the day. But honestly, thank you so much for your 34 years and a half of dedication, and it shows. So thank you. Yay! Bye, Linda. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you. We will. You as well. Stay safe.
Thank you.